everybody, good morning and welcome back to Reaper Pro Tips with me, your host and Disembodied Hands, Quindy, Disembodied Beer John, and sometimes a Kerniko. I do not see a Kuro in the chat, but we shall see. We shall see. How is everyone? Here we are. Here we are. And it's Turtle Day. Turtle, turtle, turtle. And it's Turtle Lookalike Day. Turtle Lookalike. Doo-doo-doo. Yes, we're going to duplicate little turtle onto big turtle. That's the plan. We'll see how much the plan actually works. I'm just looking at what I've done. Going, oh my gosh. Oh well, we'll see. But yes, how is everyone? So today, what I want to do is I want to block in the greens. I want to kind of call out some of the things that I did on this guy. This guy was a quicker paint. But you can see one of the things we're going to talk about here. Hold on, let me get a decent brush. So I did this with a blue light source, a bluish light source. Work retreat, long weekend vacation. You need a vacation and more coffee. I feel that. David's parents are coming this weekend. I need a pre-vacation and a post-vacation. But alas, the pre-vacation is a nope because I have to finish my Patreon stuff before they get here. So I don't even have the whole month. But anyway, so what I did here is I actually started with a dark green. My base color on this was actually a pine green, which is very warm. And then my light color is blue, so I'm essentially using blue to highlight every color that I choose to use on this model. Even the yellows have been greened out by adding a pale blue highlight. So that's what we're going to be doing. I also am taking advantage of some pretty dark lining to bring everything out, and like that's just a stylistic choice at that point. Because it's a gaming model, I did a zenith on it, and I left a lot of the black, or I kept it, I painted over it with walnut, or just preserved it by like only putting like one coat of base coat over it so it reads really dark. This one we're going to be doing something different. We're not going to be relying on zenith. We're going to be relying on just our common sense as to where our shadows should go. So that's going to mean that we have to use walnut probably, or another dark color. I'll have to figure out what I want to use in the shadows, and we'll have to artificially put that in instead of having it done for us by a zenith prime. So, big turtle is little turtle on hard mode, is what it comes down to. Oh, hey, there's a Kerniko. Do you have ears, Kuro? Oh, you have ears and food. Wow. 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 That's great. All right, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start blocking in our greens. We're going to start looking at our shadows. And blocking those in. So my light source throughout on that model was cool. I do want to get that out. I want to choose a color that will work for that. I think I have some Tony's Glacier. Let me go and actually look at my paints from Reaper. Hold on, guys. Hold on, guys. Luckily, I labeled them. Also, my allergies are a little better today, which is such a relief. Oh my god. Whatever trees are trying to kill me have stopped trying to kill me mostly. Ooh, I could use that. I could use that and totally taunt you with something that doesn't exist yet. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll taunt you with something that doesn't exist yet. What do you think? Yeah, maybe frost blue. There are a couple of light blues. Yeah, there's Glacier as well. All right. I don't think Glacier has quite the coverage of frost. I'll get both out. I keep talking about switching over my drawer here, and I haven't done it yet. Because I haven't had the time, and now I'm going to have David's parents, which means I'm really not going to have the time. Chores and unpacking, yeah. Yeah, I had forgotten how loud thunder was in Texas. Until I was at Reaper at the start of this month, where we had a few days of thunderstorms. So when you want to create a light source, let's see what I want to do. This is actually when you want a cooler, weirder light source. So you want to go for a light color. You're probably going to lighten it up with adding even more white to it. Colors that I have used for kind of eerie or bluish light effects include the following. So Spectral Glow and Phantom Glow are made for this if you're looking for something eerie and ghostly kind of lighting. In the past, I've used Tropical Blue, but I actually like Glacier a little better because at Tropical I always had to add white too, and these two colors from the Bones line, Glacier and Frost, are very much kind of lighter gradients of Tropical Blue. So let's see if I even have Tropical around here. I had a bottle of it, but I don't know where I stuffed it. Maybe it'll just have to be a mystery. But anyway, Tropical is a darker version of this, kind of a little bit of like a cyan or cerulean blue. Glacier is kind of cerulean. But this is the kind of range that you want if you're looking for to do a light source. And even so, I would probably still add white to Glacier, and I would add white to Phantom. So more you're looking as far as value, you're looking for something like this. You don't want an off-white because then it'll totally just lose the color. So if you put too much white into it, then you lose the blue or the blue-green or whatever you're trying to carry. It won't really affect your colors because most of the pigment is white. So you do want to pick something that's light, but that's not like an off-white. So like, for example, Blue Flame might be even a little bit too. This is Blue Flame is probably too white. So I would use these first, and then when you need to highlight up higher, you can always add white to these, or to your mix. But I would definitely, if you want a colored light, you want a colored light. You don't want to go too white, or you just won't see it. Especially on 28. You might see it on a bigger scale. Oh, the Texas thunderstorms are crazy, Cornico. All right, so I'm going to keep my Glacier and Frost out. And we'll rock with that. I don't think I have those otherwise in here, but I'm going to check. Just make sure I'm not missing them. No, everybody else in here is kind of a blue-gray or Pathfinder. All right. Yeah. Basilisk green, I don't know where you go. I really have to resort my drawer. Super, super badly need to resort my drawer. Okay. So anyway, we're not using Ghostly. We're going blue. Kind of like reflected blue skylight. I mostly wanted to give this guy, because he was had a lot of aquatic things going on with the kind of coral branch staff and the starfishes and everything. I wanted to give that guy more of a watery look, so I wanted that blue light. All right, so I started with pine green on the little guy. I could go with a bluer green out the gate, which would make it blend better with these things. But it would also probably push the turtle a lot more toward teal and away from green. So by starting with a very strong... Yeah, it is pretty scary if you've never experienced it in Cornico. It sounds like it's like a cannon shot. And you can feel it in your house, like when it's really, really loud. And that's pretty common in Texas. Along with the crazy hail. So it's good that you have ears today, Cornico, because I'm going to tease you guys a new color that I made when I was a Reaper. Uh, no promises as to when or if it will be used or coming out. But, you know, you're going to like it because essentially I looked at Death Knight Black and I was like, this is a great color, but it sucks because it's too weak. So I changed it and improved its coverage, and now we have Black Knight Liner. So this is a improved version of Death Knight. It's got the coverage you would expect from a blue liner or a brown liner, but it is still a liner, so when you thin it, you can still get it to go transparent. Yes, it's Death Knight supercharged, exactly. Yes, Black Knight Liner. So, yeah, so no promises on when you might see this, but it was a thing I did. And I think I'm going to use it to shade Mr. Turtle. I could go warm with the shadows, but I think we're going to go really cold with this model. Except for using a warm green for the base. But I might even shift that a little bit. I might start out by putting just like a drop of Glacier into my pine green. Alright, so I'm going to mix up. I'm going to go with my Black Knight Liner. So let's go and get our palette in focus. You need it yesterday. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. All right. So actually, while we're here, it has much better coverage. So, boop, boop. Death Knight always was very, very transparent, but as you can see, I've improved the coverage a lot on this one. However, when you thin it, you still get what you wanted from the old Death Knight. Yeah, so Wild Bryce appears. Poof! What kind of Pokemon are you, Bryce? Six boxes of Gloom Engrave for nothing. Well, no, one presumes you've been actually using your Death Knight Black, so, you know, you don't have access. You don't have access to the new stuff yet, Kuro. It wasn't a waste. It wasn't a waste. I just found my Gloomgrave, my green, actually, when I was moving through stuff in the other room. Or my Grave Moss, whatever it was. Yes, Kara and Bryce in the same stream. Kara is probably a lightning Pokemon because she's so energetic. Like a lightning screaming weasel, kind of like a psychopath Pikachu. That's what I think of Kara as far as Pokemon. But yes, this is my quest. So let's do 4 drops of our Pine Green for our base, plus 1 drop of Glacier. It's not going to shift it much. Pine Green is essentially Dark Angel's green. It's a very, I like to think of it as the perfect dark green. So let me get it over here and then pull it out against our palette so we can see how pretty it is. It's a very dark emerald. So if you haven't ever used this color, it's one of the first MSP colors I did because I love this color so much. It's a great shader for greens. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. And if you ever paint Dark Angels for Space Marines, if you ever wondered what MSP color was your match, that's it. Yeah, so it's really sexy dark green. Like, there's no excuse to not know about it at this point. It's been out for forever. But Electric Weasel. Maybe, yeah, let's see if there's an Electric Weasel Pokemon. Well, I mean, maybe. I mean, Pikachu being an electric mouse, it's not a far step. Their third secret swirl. Alright, so we'll put 1 drop in there. We'll see how it changes it. There is white in Glacier. So it will slide it a little bit, but that's fine. Put my mixing brush out. I wonder if I'm going to get like artist ragey again this weekend, since I won't be able to work with my new paint again because of the parental visit. I was definitely getting like full of rage from being thwarted. Now, I did use it a lot this past weekend, so pardon me. Allergies still a little bit here, just not as bad. My hope is that whatever like blooming period has been going on for the last week and a half is ending, so that my allergies are gonna hopefully snap back. It's been like just kind of suck. All right, so we're gonna mix these two together. Yeah, it's gonna lighten the green a little bit. It's gonna shift it a little bit, but it's not gonna be significant. That's fine. So that'll be our base. And then I want to mix up this Black Knight. Sorry, I've still got green in my brush I need to get out. Need to get it out. Can't mix it in. You can be whatever kind of Pokemon you want. You can even sculpt your own Pokemon, Kara. You could create the electric weasel that is Kara. Or Kara's brain. All right. So just as a test, I want to kind of look at what these colors make when I mix them together. They're going to probably be great because green and blue tend to be naturals. Oh yeah, that Death Knight really takes over the green, so I have to remember that. Yeah, they definitely... I can make a darker green with it, so that's good. But I can go all the way down to that, so that's okay. Sometimes if you're doing three konas. Open diorama painters and 3 konas, yeah. Well, you're just going to have to put off embodying yourself as an electric weasel then. Like, we should do... I wish I could sculpt. I wish I could sculpt. Like, I think it would be super fun to do all of our painter friends and figure out what animal and element they would all be for Pokemon. Like, you'd be an electric weasel. I'd have to figure out what I am. I don't know what element I am in Pokemon. I don't know. What do you guys think? Now I have to go look at Pokemon. Elements. Pokemon elements. Bug, dark, dragon. Kiriniko is totally a dragon Pokemon. Electric, fairy, fighting. I might be a fighting Pokemon. Fire, flying, ghost, grass, ground, ice, normal. I'm definitely not that. Poison, psychic, rock, steel. Ooh, I like steel. And water. Huh. My gut is most attracted... Does it say something about me that my gut is most attracted to, like, steel and fighting? Although I think my favorite Pokemon... Enough! Settle it. Pardon me, we're gonna have to kick out Papa. Enough! Bye! Bye! Now she's sad. And she has to learn. Used to challenge everyone in your old office to fight. Yes, I remember them. Hey, miniature stand. I'm trying to get my dog to stop barking. Sorry, it's not working. Not highly effective. Alright, so let's just start putting down some colors here. I am going to do a very quick, like, fast base coat over all of the green parts of this turtle, which is most of them. And we'll just go from there. I probably should use a bigger brush, except I think I threw all my bigger brushes into the other room. So we're starting pretty dark because I want to... When I want to do a lighting effect, I like to have contrast, as all of you, if you've worked with Luca, you've seen the contrast that man gets. I'm just going to go over the face entirely. You can always go back and pick out detail. I'm gonna actually exile her out so she can't, like, that little dog. I'm gonna kick her out even farther in a second if she doesn't settle. All right. And we're going to put a very, very dark shadow underneath the jaw. My choice to go white primer this time means I have to do all the shadows. It means I have no help from my priming job. So I have to figure it out myself. I used to always use white primer, but I was also terrible about making my shadows dark enough for high contrast, so... Yeah, my doggy totally wants attention. Like, she hears lawn people, and she doesn't understand that it's not our lawn people, it's next door's lawn people. And it's annoying that she barks at the lawn people now anyway, and it is totally just boredom and a bid for attention. But that's why I close the door and shut her out and exile her when she does it, if she doesn't listen to me when I ask her to be quiet. Because, like, you wanted attention, and now you got the opposite. Gonna put a bit of the ear in there. Sorry guys, I didn't realize I was zoomed out to show my palette still. You're a ghost fairy type. Yeah, fox not being a type, but there are foxes in various, I think, like, what, there's fire. I like the nine-tailed fox one. I like all the fox Pokemon, too. I'm a fox person as well. Obviously, if you've read my books, you know I am a fox person. The purple mean-looking Pokemon. Hey, there's all sorts of ghosty ones. The Spectre type one. So yeah, since I don't have any shadows for my primer, I'm just going to paint them in. This is actually the way that I've preferred to work for a long time. I always preferred white primer. For a long time I didn't do Zenith, and I didn't like black primer because I find it very difficult to kind of see details when I prime a model black, and it drives me crazy. I'm going to actually paint in the mouth really dark. We can always go back again to highlight and to bring out more colors, but I want the shadow to be in there. Maybe I'll leave the tongue white for now. Possessed by pure hatred. Yes, there you go. Trying to get the mouth all in here. Probably I shouldn't have glued the arm on right away, but I felt like I could paint everything, and so I was like, I just have to come in at an angle here. This is the downside of putting everything together, right? Me, when I have a new paint line I want to work with and my in-laws are coming. That's me full of hatred. Me, when I haven't had enough time to write. Man, I was seriously... I mean, it was kind of like this. It's been kind of like this through my life, where I would just get, like really angry if I couldn't write. But now that I've been writing regularly, it's like I've been giving myself a drug regularly, and then when I stop, my body immediately, like, it'll give me a day, maybe. It'll grumble at me a little bit. But after that one day, if I don't get back to writing, the craziness just grows. So this is what this green color ends up looking like. Sorry. Am I about focal level? I guess I need to put them up a little bit. I never know what depth I'm going to be painting at until I actually start it. So, and I'm going to block the eyes in dark for now. Wait, there's got to be a quiz. Hold on. What Pokemon am I? Quiz. Ultimate Pokemon quiz. Oh, wow. Very detailed quiz with 300 possibilities. Boop. Okay, well, this is going to be silly. But I'm totally going to do it. But I'm not necessarily going to do it. Did it not let me do it? Oh, it wants me to make a copy. Alright, well, we'll just deal with that at some future point. But it sounds like a really good Pokemon quiz. I'm going to have to take it now and find out. But yeah, I have way too much Patreon stuff to do today. I have to finish filming one video, start filming another video, or finish filming both, depending on how well things go. I have to go to the store to get stuff for supper. Wow, his eyes are enormous. Ginormous turtle eyeballs, folks. That's funny. No, actually, as far as the diet neurotic, no. I'm actually, these are magnification. So I don't use a magnifier like a big magnifier or an optivisor, but I do use reading glasses. I used to have really, really good vision, but then when I turned 40, my warranty expired. And so I started using reading glasses because that's what Marika Reimer had always used. She needed them before she turned 40, but I only needed them after. So I use a 3 times magnification reading glasses. And then as far as like my precision, it's just like, you know, eons of painting miniatures has built my fine motor coordination. So yeah, giant eyes, exactly. Yeah, I only got into Pokemon when Pokemon Go came out. And I probably didn't get into that even right away. I'm going to start mixing up highlights here, guys, so we can kind of test and see how our blue highlights look on the screen. So I'm going to actually grab my green. Boop. I'm going to transfer some of it over. And I'm going to mix more of my Glacier Blue into there. And maybe 1 drop of Frost. Well, we'll see. We'll go here first. Yeah, that's going to make a light tealy blue. So we'll try that and we'll see how it goes. It's a little bit odd to do a cold highlight over a warm color. It's going to shift the color. Pretty much everything, even though I start with some warmer colors here, everything is going to get shifted cooler because of the light. All right, let's get down closer again. And start popping this in. This guy's got big plates on top of his head. I'm actually going to do another coat because the plate, as you can see, the coat up here is not solid because I thinned it a fair bit. And because the pigments that go into making this color are not very high coverage. So because I wanted Pine Green to be a really saturated, vibrant color with high chroma, even though it was a dark, I did not add any white or other things to it to make it cover better. So, and as you all know, MSP is a more fluid paint. Most of the time when paints are going for coverage, if they are using transparent pigments, the answer is to make a thicker paint. That's what a lot of companies will do. You'll see it in artist paints as well. That's what heavy body paints are. They're just a really thick base. But when you thin those down to the point where they can go smoothly onto miniatures, you tend to, you lose a little bit of that, depending on how much you thin. Now, if you're working on little miniatures, you probably have to thin them a lot. Or a fair bit, anyway. I don't know, except for Monument, I think, is coming out with a heavy body line. And I was just kind of like, do they realize this is not optimal for miniatures? But, maybe it'll work. I have no idea. But usually they're using a thick base, or they're adding thickening agents to a base to make it glob together a little bit more, to add that coverage. I'm not a fan. I'm old-fashioned that way. I don't find that multiple sets of reading glasses are a downside. I have one in every room I paint in. I have one in every room I read in. Which is pretty much means I've got a set of glasses in every room I use in the house. Alright, so just reinforcing my dark green there. Hey there. So, hey Shadow Raven, I didn't see you come in. But yeah, heavy body paints are just thicker, and I mean, it's going to be like everything else. Some people are going to love it. I mean, Matt DiPietro really loves heavy body paints, but he doesn't like use like miniature painter paints. He uses tube paints. He was just telling me about his he uses the golden heavy body. He was interested in my experiments with the open paints. But see, I don't mind. And maybe it's just because I have an art background, but I as a kid, I was always taught if you want coverage, you just add a little bit of white. And so for me, using like the open paints or tube paints or any paints that don't cover it, if I want a little coverage, I'm just going to add a little white. And if I want the chroma to come back up, if I want the brightness, the vibrant color, then I'm just going to put a coat over the top of white, or I'm going to put a coat of that over the top of the white that I just did, the coat with white added. So I just make those adjustments, and I don't consider them to be a pain in the butt. But with my new project that I'm using that artist paint for, I'm just going to add in the shadow there under the shell, guys. Like, I'm definitely adding, I mean, for skin tones I had to add white anyway, right? So and for the feathers I'm adding white. But I also don't much mind if I don't have a super solid base coat with those colors, because I know I'm going to go over the top again with MSP when I'm applying details and stuff. So yeah. Nice, Laura. Oh, wait. Oh, your capes box has not arrived. Yeah, I mean, that's the point, Hyper. That's the point of classes. You're almost never going to get everything you need from one class. But the point is, once you've got a foundation, that you just take it and like just absorb the couple things from the class that really suit you. I mean, so no instructor is going to be perfect. You may like some people's teaching style more than others for sure, but like you're not gonna be able to. I'm just highlighting, just kind of blocking in some lighter scales here, guys, to see what I can do, what it's gonna look like. But yeah, like especially once you've started to get like to an intermediate stage, you're gonna start taking classes and separating out what is valuable to you and what suits your methodology. Now, what I will say is it's a big mistake it can be a big mistake to do that. Also, even though it's a natural tendency for humans, it can be a mistake to do that because, and I experienced this directly, because if you don't go in with an open mind, you could miss some really useful stuff. And so when I went into the class with Jeremy Bonnemont, who was here teaching teaching at Reaper briefly, was doing his workshop, I did not get as much as I could have from that class because I was like, oh, I don't like this guy's style of teaching. I don't like his, I don't like this methodology. This isn't at all like what I do. I was much younger at that point. And as a result, I afterwards realized that that I just kind of wasted the opportunity. So, yeah. So it's kind of a marriage. It's a weird marriage. During the class, you have to keep your mind open. Even if the person themselves isn't like your kind of person, or the instructor, or their teaching style isn't what normally works for you. After the class, when you consolidate, that's when you can like kind of sort out things and decide what suits you, what doesn't suit you. I was much more open with Kirill's class, and I learned a crap ton from it. And ever since then, I've just tried to just be as open as possible to anything in the class while I'm taking it. So that's not really like, well, it's lightening the top there. I'll have to see if I really like this. I'm going to do a little bit of lining. It's going to look like butt for a little bit here, guys. Yeah, I did go. I decided to go down and just have dinner with them, Bryce. I actually didn't go to the con. I hate parking at that con. It's one of the worst cons for parking I have ever seen. And I always get super frustrated because I don't know the area that well. David, having gone to the con for 15 years, he knows the area. He knows exactly where he's going to try to park, but I don't. And there's like no good park. You can't use the hotel parking, even though Kubla Khan claims you can. When you go, there's actually a sign that says guests only. The recommended lot, they tell you, is like a mile away. I'm not walking a mile to get to a con. Like, yeah. This year I made a few more notes about parking and where I might park if I go next year. But it just, man, I just don't enjoy it. Or you park in a place that's risky because they have tow signs up, which a lot of people seem to do. But, yeah, not ideal. And I know a lot of cons don't have optimal parking if you're not staying at the hotel, but this is our local con, and I just get so frustrated about it. It's not even San Francisco proper. It's more like by the airport. Throws off your whole day if some new guy parks in your spot. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Laura. That's where I was at. I just had a lot of rage. A lot of rage. But luckily the sushi place was right near the con, and they had dedicated parking. So I just met them for dinner. It was really good sushi, actually. And walkable from the con, so that's good to know. I'm just using some liner here to keep to bring these plates out a little bit. They're still not sticking out a lot because we're not dealing with a very high contrast paint yet. And we're going to go up from here. But yeah, it was, Matt and I talked artist paint a bit while David was going to get his jacket from the car. Because it was getting cold. It like shifted from a nice day to like really cold really fast, which is San Francisco. So I'm just going to go over and lighten these, blue them out a little bit, using my first highlight here to kind of bring out. And you can see how the color's shifting now from the warm green to the cooler green as I go over parts of this. Now I'm going to leave some. Yeah, it kind of sucks when big conventions like just can't manage the parking. All right, let's get this side. We're very dark, but we'll get lighter, don't worry. But yeah, I mean, a lot of miniature painters are going to be opinionated about like this or that, like this is the way I've done it and this is the way. And you know, that's just their experience. Doesn't mean you can't try it a different way. At this point, I think I'd recommend that open thinner to anybody trying to do blending of whatever kind with acrylics, because it's much lighter weight than other slow dries that I have used, which I really like because it's not impacting the paint, it's not impacting the adhesion as much as some other slow dries. This stuff, and you can add it to regular paint. I haven't tested yet to see how well it works with regular paint, so maybe hold off till I do that if you don't want to waste money. But usually I don't endorse drying retarders because I find that they have an adverse effect. I used to use them until I really discovered that that was part of the problem with rub-off for me. And then I stopped working in drying retarder. I mostly used it when I was working with other paint lines before Reaper. And then once we had MSP, the bases that I chose to work with were just naturally a little bit slower to dry. So I didn't have to, I didn't need it anymore. Parking war, yep. Yeah, painter's opinionated, exactly. Yeah, that just sounds ridiculous, Fox. Have people complained about them? Or is everybody, like, kind of afraid to complain because then things get unpleasant? Just gonna do a little bit of the line on the jaw there. That's starting to look like a cool color. I'm gonna go up another step after I get this little line over here. There. And I want the line there. Okay. Okay, so this is looking cool. Now let's get another highlight up. Oh, I see, Fox, yeah. That can be a problem too, right? Even when your complaints are valid, if people start to perceive you as the complainer, then they stop listening, which is really not fair. Because usually the people who are complaining are also, like, you know, actually caring about what's happening to the property, but I can see it because sometimes people just like to complain, right? And they have no way of knowing which one you are. All right, let's make a lighter color. I want to start really coming and bringing in some light. So I'm going to use frost, probably 1 drop of glacier and 2 drops of frost to bring this up. I'm going to actually do this. I'm actually adding the open thinner to my paint. We're going to see how it impacts the paint as far as drying time. I'm going to just mix in a little bit more water, mix this in well, and see how it goes. So I've got at least 4 drops of paint in each of these, or the equivalent. Except this green, probably not. I need to add more green. Never, make sure you've got a proper puddle of paint if you're going to use something like a dilutant or a slow dry. Like anything that's going to slow drying time, make sure that you have enough paint, or it can get glossy and it can hurt adhesion. Like, no matter what you use, it's just a kind of a thing that happens. Just making sure I've got enough paint so I don't get adverse effects. The bad part, and I really need to transfer some of this into an MSP bottle, is just that the drops are so big out of this. So I probably need to transfer it to an MSP bottle. All right, now let's put 1 drop of glacier and 2 drops of frost, or at least let's do 1. Yeah, that is sneaky. Good for your partner. I mean, passive aggressive for the win, but if you've already appealed to authorities and they're not doing anything, then you have to be a bit sneaky, I guess. All right, so now we're going to mix in, and we're going to get this lighter grayish teal. And the reason there's a little bit of gray in this teal is that the pine green that we started with has a little bit of black in it. So it's going to come up a little more muted. I do want a little bit more of the frost there. And one of my regular thinner there. There we go. And then when I have my final highlight, I'm going to go straight up to the blues. Hey there, Trash. How's it going? I wanted to say sorry to you, Trash, the other day. I always forget you're a mod because you're, like, not modding my stream every day like Quinty is. And so when I was, like, thanking everybody and you were like, oh, thanks, Trash, you know, and I had already, like, started to hit the button to sign off, or I'd already signed off, and I was just like, ah! So I apologize. I should have said thank you to you too, because when you're here, you are a mod. Okay, yeah, I figured it was a joke, but I also felt bad. I felt bad, so I wanted to tell you you're valued, even if you're not here every day. All right, so we are mixing weird stuff into our paint. Let's mix a little bit of the weird stuff in. I think I'm actually going to just do a little bit onto my brush and mix it in, then I won't have to. There. That was about a half a drop out of this kind of bottle. So, you know, I may as well experiment right in front of you, live on camera. Don't worry, Trash. You are valued. I know about all you do for the community, all the hard work you've put in over the years. You're okay with me. All right. I mean, you've suffered through Reaper like all of us. So how's the order coming for ReaperCon for the out of print paints, Trash? Oh, Paint Club. John's first two painted minis ever. Wow. Almost 2 weeks left. All right, guys. So if you're going to ReaperCon and you want to order a paint that is out of print, you need to consult with the Trashorama and get your name on that spreadsheet with the color that you want to help those colors get made. You don't have to be at ReaperCon, but you need a friend to pick up paint for you if you are not. Is my understanding, right? Other people can pick up people's paint orders, Trash? Your friend would then need to mail you paint, but yeah. So we're bringing up our blues here. Trash can talk his name. So I'm not going to put this color everywhere. I mostly want it where the light is directly coming down. So like the edges of these plates and the parts of the plates that are facing, that are horizontal to the light source. Yeah. All right, so we're essentially bringing this up now. We're going to start seeing a lot more light now that we're bringing this in. There are faster ways to do this, probably. This is the way I enjoy doing it for the first part, while I kind of figure out, okay, what transition, you know, how are these colors working together? This is a bigger model than the last one, so scale does make a difference with some effects. You can get away sometimes with jumping gaps with colors on a smaller model that you can't with bigger model. So even if you've kind of trialed a color scheme on a smaller figure, you can't assume that it'll work on a bigger one. Just leaving a few grooves here for texture. I may accentuate it a little bit, or I may not, depending. Aw, baby turtles are cute. Wednesday, this is a hell day for me, Richard. I can see already that I'm not going to have any time to work on my book today, and not writing makes me grumpy. On the plus side, one of the last things that I'm trying to hand off for my dog club duties is supposed to be resolved today, which will be a relief, but it's going to be a pain to deal with. And I have to very, very firmly lecture myself that that I just want to hand this stuff off and not be too involved with stuff. Yeah. Yep. Trash for years I just wrote like as not as necessarily as the muse strikes, but when I had the time and energy. However, over the last like before May, like over March and April, I wrote like every day, like with only a few days missed. And it was fantastic because I made so much progress on the new book. And I really loved it. Like I finally figured out the sweet spot in my daily schedule where I could write. And so I got super addicted. But then I went, I had my running, I had the Big Sur 5K, Big Sur Marathon 5K to do, and that disrupted that weekend. And then 2 days later, I went to Reaper for a week. And then since I've been back, it's been like this huge crashing, wave of I have to get stuff done and I'm behind. And so I have not been able to write very much. I think I only have like 7,000 words for this month. Like, it's terrible. Kiki hears yard people, and she is very, very upset about the yard people. All right. They're not our yard people, Bubs. Yeah, and so the creativity, the book has really gone. Pardon me while I'm going to shut her out so she can't bark at people out our back door, guys. 1 second. Kiki, out. Now, come on, get out of there. You're not allowed in that room anymore. Nope. Hi. Can you settle? No barks. All right? You can be with me, but no barks. You can be with me, but no barks. I know. The yard people. So as we start bringing up our highlights with this turquoise, with this kind of tealy color, we're going to start seeing kind of a bluer. It's going to show us a bluer light, essentially. We will still want to keep enough of our green to show like our kind of Yep. Yeah, I just had to close the door to the hobby room, Twisted Oma, because she'll go in there, and there is a door onto our back patio there, so if she senses that the yard people are, like, in that direction, she'll just go in there and bark. Now, carrying this, because the thing is, highlighting with the teal alone will not give you the lighting effect. You have to be consistent with this color over the whole model, right? Which is why our next highlight is to go straight up to the blue itself. Just tiny touches of it. I'm just trying to get the little line of the mouth there. Bottom there. The yard people. Yes. Yeah, Checo. This was a Reaper Mini. It was raising funds for charity, but it is available. So if you want to pick him up, he's really cool. That's his number. You can search it on the Reaper site. He is neat. Thanks, Quindy, for the link. Sorry, I didn't see your question. The chat is flying by. All right. So that's pretty decent. Now I'm going to get my blues, and we're just going to put a little bit of sheen, just like we would. Yeah, the pufferfish is fantastic. He's neat. He's a cool druid. We've got a lot of mushrooms and stuff, and flowers. Mushrooms, flowers, pufferfish. Generally a pretty cool dude as far as turtles go. All right. Let me just mix up these guys into a light color. Yeah, we can only do charity for a limited time because otherwise it really makes accounting very difficult. So usually it's when we do a charity mini, it's got a very limited time that the funds will go to charity. Luckily, I mean, it used to be we just stopped the mini, but lately it's just, which I like much more, is the mini is still available. It's just not the charity fund. The charity fund is still not going. Which is cool because a lot of past minis that were done for charity. We were very crooked today. Were pretty cool, and it kind of sucked that you couldn't get them afterwards. Oh, I don't think I ever saw the Total Anti-Paladin. Now I need to go look. Oh wait, maybe I did see this guy. Yeah, the Spike Shell Anti-Paladin, yeah. Bye, Shadow Raven. Alright, so we're going to do a mixture of equal parts Glacier and Frost, and then 1 drop of Pure White, just to lighten it up a bit. Hopefully that still leaves it blue enough. We'll find out. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Again, I want to see the light color. If I go too much into an off-white, that might actually... I don't know if this will work. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try this. Might be a little bit not quite light enough, but... And I've got a card already put aside for my druid, so I'm going to paint a little bit of that blue. If it works, I'm going to paint a little bit of that blue onto it so I can match my light color again in the future. Ugh, hold on. Brief sneeze here. Or a nose blow anyway. As it gets later in the day, the allergies should be better. They're much better today than they were for the last several days, though, so that's at least good. Alright, so let's just get it. Oh, that might actually be brighter than I thought. Alright, I need to thin it a little bit more. I'm going to blend it in. That's going to be pretty bright, but that's okay. I mean, it's going to show light. It's because of the Pure White. I need to take it down a little bit more. I'll put a little bit of the... Sadly, it's Luca Day, right? Quindy, we have a Luca? Oh, he won't be streaming today. All right, so we have a little extra time. Good to know. Thank you. All right, so we're going to take our light blue. I've thinned it down a little bit more now, so it shouldn't be quite so punchy. And whether you want punchy is up to you. I just like it a little bit more subtle. If your highlights are too punchy, it tends to give... Either it'll just look like really heavy-handed, or it'll give the effect of, if you're doing little spot highlights, it'll give the effect of like a wet surface or a very shiny surface, which may or may not be what you want. Okay, so it's just next door. It's not even us. It's probably our neighbor across the back fence. Because it's pretty loud. And they have a huge yard. They're in a corner lot, so they've got like 3 times the space we do. But they also have a ton of foliage and stuff. So... Although, this is not supposed to be the time of year that you do that. All the cutting and stuff. Because there are baby birds all over the place. This is nesting season where we are. It actually sounds like somebody's cutting trees, but... I don't know, maybe it's next door. Maybe it's that side neighbor. But again, they're not supposed to be doing that this time of year because of the babies. Given that this is the neighbor we don't like, so if she doesn't, if she's not happy with little birdies, then, you know, it'll just be yet another reason why I don't like her very much. It's fine, Kiki. They're not in our yard. They're probably in Marine's yard. I thought I heard her talking to somebody earlier, so maybe this is... Maybe she's cutting all her trees down, Bubba. Yeah? Yeah? It's okay, Bubs. Yeah. I'm just going to do a little bit of blending here. Yeah. Some towns care and some don't. Kiki will protect the birdies, yes. She knows I like the birds. I had an extra holder for suet, and I put it into the bowl for my scrub jay, to feed my scrub jay. He's still not. His paw seems a little bit better, but I think he probably, because animals don't understand this stuff, he probably just keeps reherding it. But I didn't want him to reherd it trying to get up at my suet feeder, so I gave him his very own little suet feeder. That bird is going to be so spoiled. When all the good stuff goes away, he's going to be like, wait. Where is my special treatment? I don't know, Kuro. He's, I don't know if it's necessary. His foot has been, like, a little bit better. Like, when I first saw him, he was, like, really holding it tucked up, and he wouldn't ever put weight on it. And the last time I saw him, he was just cautiously putting weight on him. I know that it was getting better, and then it got worse, so I think he just reheard it. But yesterday, he looked pretty okay. So I don't know if I could catch him. He seems, I mean, he can fly fine. And he seems to eat fine standing on one leg. He just can't use the bird feeders where he needs both legs to cling to them. Like, that's my hanging suet feeder. Like, it's really tough for him. That's why I put a squirrel feeder out, and the squirrels haven't touched it, but he's eating out of it, so. I'm hoping that his paw will just get better or his feetsies. His feetsies will just get better over the next few days. He's definitely getting enough. I mean, he has food and water in my yard if he wants it. He drinks out of my fountain, and he doesn't have a problem perching there. And he's got the bowl of food, so. Yeah, he can fly. Yeah, it's just his foot. His foot is the problem. But yeah, hopefully it'll be okay. Hopefully he'll, He was cautiously putting weight on it yesterday when he was on the ground. He just can't use it to cling to things. Yeah. Yeah, he seems to be bright and perky other than his painful foot. He's such a handsome lad. I love the scrub jay. I love their eyebrows. That they have a lighter eyebrow. They're very, very expressive. I've seen another one around. I don't know if it's a parent or a relative. This guy is younger, we think, because his floofy, his back patch, where they normally have a gray back, is a bit floofy and bigger than the adults. Hey there, Ultra Squid. Hey, it's Screaming Possum. Like, is it a possum? It's a cat. I was gonna say. Kara needs that. She needs that emote. Except it needs to be a weasel. So just a little bit of the blue there. I just want to kind of look at it from the top. I want to make sure my blue is pretty consistent. I'm leaving a little bit of shadow up top. I probably need to dial those down. I'm going to use a glaze of kind of one of my highlight colors. I think the first highlight color I did, I'm going to use a glaze. And a little bit of this lighter guy. Yeah, swans are brave. Happy turtle day indeed, Rage. Otherwise, it's not a very happy day because there's no writing time today at all for me. I'm gonna just put a glaze over the top of the head, guys. Glaze, 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 glaze. I'm gonna pick it off a little bit. If there are any pooling areas, although I mostly just brushed it over, so when you brush it over, if you don't see any pooling, you're pretty okay. I just want to make it. But yeah, so we're keeping some of our ground color. Green is down there, but I want it to be much lighter up here, so. I want to minimize my shadows. I want to make sure I don't have any of the base green up here. Because everything on top of the head should be getting hit with the light. It's making it go lighter. So it should all be lighter up here. I know, my streak died, Mirage. My streak died. Like, this month has been terrible. I tried to keep it going. But I just, at one point I just gave up. I realized I couldn't stress about it. I just need to start a new streak. But right now is not the time. The problem, essentially Reaper and the running thing in combination, mostly Reaper, disrupted my streak enough that, and then everything has been just trying to race to keep up with the Patreon. So, real life takes over, kicks the writing to the curb again. Bye, Crowley. Yeah, it be what it is. It's like, you can't whine about it. You just gotta, like, get things done and then start writing again when you can write. I mean, it's just what it is. There are lots of things in my life that are unfortunately higher priority than writing, so. Because they have to be. So it'd be what it be. Oh, I heard about a new British reality show that was potting. It was pottery. Like the British Great Pottery Throwdown or something. It's another British reality show. I'm gonna totally give it a try. Anyone who's ever tried to actually throw a pot knows that it's not easy. So yeah, I'm really interested to see if it's cool. See if it's like Bake Off. Oh, Throwdown is great? You like it? Awesome. I told David about it last night and he looked interested, so I think we'll have a new show then. Well, that's because they know you're one of them. They're dragony. Oh, I thought that was Kuro and it was Quindy. Well, maybe you also are a dragon in disguise, Quindy. A horrifying dragon. You would totally be a shadow dragon or a zombie dragon. Oh, Matthew Fontaine has gone all in on pottery. Yeah. Well, I think that, I don't think it's unusual for miniature painters to have, like, to be drawn to all arts. Like, right now I am currently, like, once again toying with the idea of going back to canvas for a bit, just for fun. When it comes down to it, a lot of us miniature painters have, that's why we paint, is we enjoy it, right? The artistic side of it. And once you know how to paint miniatures, once you, start to grok a little more about color and light and shape, you know, sometimes you stay, just keep that creativity all in the hobby, but a lot of times people will go to traditional arts as well, just for fun, just for something new to learn or to putz around with. Pottery's cool because it, you know, you create functional objects, which appeals to some people. Chickens on canvas. Oh yeah, Quindy's totally a Dracolich. But yeah, so not too surprised to hear that Matthew Fontaine has taken up a totally different art form. I mean, many painters have done it before. Alright. I'm okay with this so far, but I think I need to get more color down. Once everything starts having that same blue highlight, it'll feel better. Yeah, pottery paid your bills when you were growing up. Neat. Yeah, that's actually a good question. What service is Throwdown on? Is it on Netflix, or is it on the other one, Roku? Just going to get a little bit of highlight there at the corner of the mouth to attract attention to it. Whenever you have an opportunity to kind of accent something to bring out expression, you can do that, especially on a smaller model. Japanese art. Oh, mud clay. Oh, funky. Yeah, that looks funky. That sounds funky trash. Hey, Roger. Max or HBO or whatever they're calling it. Oh, okay. I think we have HBO Max. I think David keeps it up for... Is it Star Wars on there? I don't know. I don't remember. He has a couple of like services that he keeps up just so he can keep up with certain shows. Maybe Apple TV, maybe Hulu. All right, well, we'll figure it out. Thanks. Alrighty, a little bit of highlight here. So we're losing a lot of our green. Yeah, so the slowing medium seems to be working pretty well. I'm not getting a hard edge around my paint in the palette. So it's working a little bit to slow drying time. I haven't tried to use it for blending to see how the open time compares. It's probably not going to be as good as the open paint, but I wonder if it would let you blend for like 5 minutes. Yeah, why have one hobby when you could have them all? Yep. Yep. It's only a matter of time. If I keep reading the magazines that I have ordered for us, I'm gonna do something reckless. And I own canvas in my closet. I could do it. All right, so I'm just gonna do a quick base coat on our arms here because I have the color. And I do need to write my colors down as well before we end so that I can recreate them. Yeah, keep an eye on your alert channels there, Laura. We had days like that at Reaper too. Yeah, I know. Finishing minis? Who does that? Who does that? David's going to the IPMS show. There's an IPMS show not like in the East Bay. He's decided he's going. He asked me if I wanted to go, and I'm just like, you know, considering they have like what 30 categories and only one of them is like fantasy miniatures, I'm like, ah. And he's like, I'm going to take Swifty and Mermaid. I'm like, oh, so you're looking to actually throw down and, like, destroy those people then. Taking the 2 best models that you've painted in recent memory. I'm like, all right, then, I'll stay home. Or IPMS, sorry. Or no, MPMA? IPMS? IPMS. Yeah, apparently no mercy from David, exactly. I'm gonna have to sneak up on him to beat him at some point. I'm just gonna quietly keep working with my new paints. All right, so I'm wet blending some of our new Death Knight, or sorry, Black Knight, Death Knight Reborn. And I'm just blending into the green. Now I am noting the green is staying wet a little longer, which is allowing me to blend, which is the result of that additive. Deep fried butter. Don't forget cinnamon. I've recently rediscovered how much I like sugar and cinnamon. The back has dried. Deep fried worms in batter. Oh no. Oh, funnel cake, yeah. Tasty though. We went to Six Flags for a work party for David's work, and had a funnel cake last year. It was the first funnel cake I'd had, I think, since I was a kid. Oh, so we're just blending in, blending, blending. The tastiest of worms. Ooh, almond flour, cinnamon empanadas sound awesome. Love almond flour. I've added more carbs into my diet just for the running and the CrossFit, but I'm still pretty low carb. I still like prefer to make stuff with almond flour instead of like all purpose. I'll do a blend these days. We'll just get this paw blocked in, guys, then we'll end the stream. Oh, the American diet. I mean, there's a reason the standard American diet is the SAD diet. I need to, like, bake some more sweet potato fries. I did some the other night for supper and realized that I'd been craving them. And I have another sweet potato. I have the power. But probably I need to eat the half a baked potato I didn't eat last night. Before I make myself more tasty sweet potato fries. All right. So you see how the paint is more vibrant when it is wet. This is pretty standard for acrylics. And then as it dries, it'll darken down, especially we're doing some wet blending here, so yeah, I kind of like him. Churro police. Oh, sweet potato pasta. Yeah, that makes sense. You'll never take us alive. Oh, man. All I know is that if I start running like longer distances, I'm not going to buy stupid energy bars and crap. I'm just going to make my own. That's my goal. Like, why buy somebody else's silly energy bar when I can just bake a perfectly good chocolate chip cookie that's 50 times better? It's like these running people never bother to bake their own stuff. It's just kind of sad. All right, people. Well then, now that we haven't had a Luca and we've been able to run late, yay, running late. Tomorrow, hopefully I survive until tomorrow. Tomorrow, we resume work on Dude. We were, if you recall, doing some fancy freehand on the border of his cape, so we will continue that, the fancy freehand, most likely tomorrow. And maybe do the blade of his sword since we're doing the silver. So yeah, so we'll be doing the fancy freehand. Freeze-dried pickles. Whatever. You know? Whatever works, really. What's up, Bubba? What are you doing, Kiki? You hanging out back there, huh? Do you want to come and say hi to the peoples? Or do you just want to stretch your little paws? Do you just want to stretch? You're so soft right now. Your head is so soft and your ears are so soft. I just want to pet them all day. I want to pet them all day, Keekers. Yeah, pettins. She's like, you can pet me all day. Kiki says hi, everyone. Freeze-dried pickles just sounds weird. I mean, I'll try it. I'll try anything once. Oh, my breakfast is all protein. Not all. Not all, but yeah, I go heavy on the protein on my breakfast. It's protein central. Protein centered breakfast for sure. Animal and plant protein. Pickles are evil? I don't know if I agree with that, Bubba. Oh yeah, the people out there, you all have now heard the Kiki. Nope. Bye. Nope. No. All right, everybody. You all had the super loud bark in your ears there. She was just perfectly positioned for the microphone. I don't know. I'd have to, like, try the freeze-dried pickle. Yes. Oh, you don't like vinegar. That makes sense. That makes sense then. Yeah, yeah. All right, people. I'm going to let you all go. Thank you for tuning in. We have complimentary colors here on your screen. Green and red. Not Christmas. Yeah, bread and butter pickles are tasty. I got into spicy pickles. Like spicy bread and butter pickles. Pretty tasty. Yep, smell you later, nerds. Yes, thank you, everybody, and hopefully I will arrive tomorrow in better humor than today. Yep, thank you so much, Quindy, for modding, and for Kuro and Trash, all of you. We appreciate you. All right, have a great one, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.